China claims it's a neutral mediator in the war in Ukraine. It's not. It's actively supporting Russia, openly with trade and less openly supplying vital parts for Vladimir Putin's war machine. But it's an unequal relationship. Russia is in danger of becoming China's vassal state, say analysts, with implications for both countries. Relations weren't always so close. Russia and China have been on-again, off-again partners for decades. From conflict back in the late 60s to where we are now, what they call a no-limits partnership. Their militaries cooperate increasingly closely, from just a few exercises annually to 14 separate exercises last year, like these joint naval manoeuvres in the Sea of Japan just last month. It's a relationship that helps both sides. China relies heavily on Russia for military hardware. Over the last 5 years, more than 70% of China's military imports have come from Russia, especially jet engines for both transport and bomber planes like this aircraft here, but also missiles and naval weapons and air defence systems. What does Russia get in return? Well, China is supplying Russia with what it needs to build its war machine. The US State Department estimates that 70% of the machine tools and 90% of the microelectronics that Russia imports come from China. The West also believes the Chinese are supplying engines, computer chips and parts, giving Russia the edge in drone production in factories like this one. Russia is also benefiting from troops sent from North Korea, something tolerated by Beijing. At one point, North Korea had 11,000 troops deployed in one region, the Kursk region, supporting Moscow's forces. But it's trade that's made Russia so heavily dependent on China since the war began, and most crucially in oil and energy. As this chart shows, the amount of oil China has bought off Russia since the war began has risen ever more steeply. Between 2021 and 2024, exports jumping from 25% to 43%. Contrast that with China. Its share of imports coming from Russia went up just 3% in 2021 to 5% in 2024. Trade between the two has risen by 2/3 since the beginning of the war. Simply put, Russia depends on trade with China more than any other country to keep its sanctions-hit wartime economy afloat. One example makes the point. Cars. In 2017, Russia imported just 18,000 cars from China. By 2024, that number has jumped 57 times to 1.1 million. Out of every $100 that Russians spend on foreign-built cars, $88 go to China. So why is all this happening? Well, from Russia's point of view, because it has to. It absolutely needs China to dodge Western sanctions, to prop up its militarised economy and to supply its war machine. From China's point of view, it has Russia over a barrel and is exploiting that on its own terms for all it can, benefiting economically, but also because the longer this war goes on, the more divided the West and NATO seem to become. China does not want a world dominated by one power. Helping Russia continue this war is helping achieve that ambition.